Hey, hello, hi. It's your home slice, Dammy Zane.
Wagwan people, it's your boy with the do-rag venom in the denim. No, I'm not wearing denim, but you don't know.
Every time.
I have to. That's my new thing now.
Gassing it.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the Unpicked podcast. We're in the building. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a fun show. How you been, Dammy? How you been?
I'm good, man. Life's good. I can't complain.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like to hear.
How about you?
Same. I'm good. Uneventful, actually. Yeah, nothing new to report. A lot of work coming, but right now, just the same old hustle kind of thing.
I hear it.
That's the vibes.
February's about hustling, getting the peas up.
Yeah, boy.
I hope you guys are good. Welcome, new subscribers.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back, returners. We love you. We appreciate you. All that jazz. Hopefully you've dropped one of our videos in the group chat like we asked you to last week.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't, do that this week. And those of you that are watching, if you love the episode, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us a comment at the bottom. If you love it, like it. The more likes we get, the more we know what kind of content we should give you guys. So, Venoms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I call you Venoms, you know. I like
because it's so nice you have to say it twice.
Relax.
In fact, yeah, before you even continue, I just realized how you tried it. Yeah. But I caught you. Yeah, but I caught you. So you got one more week. You got every week, yeah. This girl is just magically not talking about these bars that she got to spit. And it's only now that we're recording that I'm even remembering. That's it. You're counting down 6, 5.
I thought I got
4.
away with it.
Oh. Picked it. Bear quiet. Oh my God.
Okay. Next week.
Next week. Live and direct.
No. Anyway, let's do the hot topics.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Is it a hot topic? It's a hot topic, but I'll give you a dilemma from it. But a hot topic is sip and paint. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Wow.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I almost went to one.
I mean, I've been to one in the UK.
No, I almost went to one of them ones.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't know one of them ones was a thing. I've been to the UK sip and paint. It's more of a rave kind of vibe and comedy. It's that vibe. And there's no live painting. It was more like painting from your imagination and then everyone showing and telling at the end.
PG.
Very PG.
Yeah.
However, this was an American sip and paint. And I don't even know if there was any painting going on, but there was a lot of sipping going on. That's what I'm saying with the
Whoa. Let's keep it PG.
Yeah, we keep it PG, boy. So
you gotta say pause. You gotta say pause when you do stuff like that, you know.
Why am I pausing?
Because you was really making sound effects like.
Well, like
I'm not gonna do it because people get ideas.
What yo with the wink though?
But when you do it,
when I do it,
you kind of need to say pause.
What are we slurpist? Can I not? Is that TMI?
No, we're not slurpists. I'm just saying. Do you know what? Scratch that.
You know,
let's not. Yeah.
It's 2022. Anybody can, if they want to.
Absolutely.
It's your business. Face your front, as dummies.
Face your front. Yeah, absolutely. I take it back. Thanks for checking.
No, it's all good. Because I'm about to do it. This is the only time anyone's going to see me doing that, but you know. Yeah, so in this American sip and paint, one young lady and a live model entered a what do you really call it? Like
a sexual encounter.
They had a sexual public encounter in a non-sexual space, I guess. Yeah. So the dilemma to you, Miss Dammy Zane, is if you gone to a sip and paint with your home girls and then everyone's getting drunk, feeling themselves, the vibe is right. And then the model walks over to your brethren. And then this starts happening. And she starts giving them the obchonk, which is that's Polish, I believe. For you know what. Yeah, she starts giving them the obchonk. Like, wagwan, what are you saying? How you dealing with that situation?
Yo, I don't know.
It's a techie one.
I'd scream. The kind of person I am. I'd scream. I'd be horrified. I don't need to see that. Like, what happens after that? So she's giving him Slurpee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the video,
it's quick.
Not to be too graphic, not to be too graphic, but my guy had his hand on the back of her head, like, you know,
he was doing, yeah.
There was, you know, right? So what? After that, you just go back to painting.
I mean, I'm gonna assume that's exactly what happened.
And you're gonna drink your prosecco. I don't know. I would scream. I'd be like, what are you doing? That's what I would say. Because it was very public. Like, it wasn't like they were in the corner.
Oh, no, yeah. They're basically like in the middle of the room.
And she was slap bang in the middle of the table. Like, it's like a long row, a long table. Yeah. Different people stationed. And she was like slap bang in the middle and had her head to the side. And my guy had his hand on the back of her head. And it was like proper. And I was like,
yeah. They were really doing bits.
I would scream. It's like a 2-second video, but everyone knows what was going on.
I mean, it's very
from
very
the motion.
Clear.
Like,
it's very clear.
I would scream.
I don't know, you know.
I think the scream is either she don't give a F, yeah, she don't give a ek, and she'll carry on despite me screaming, or it would be like, she would stop.
That's the thing. She was.
And then I would have to say,
she was a bit merry, like.
Yeah, but I would be like, sis, at least like do it in private, not outside in front of everyone.
Do you know what it is, right? I kind of get it. Like, the alcohol is in the system. The vibes are there. It's more like a no inhibitions type of thing. I don't think she was like, oh yeah, I'm about to do the obchunk on this.
But I'm gonna stop you right there. Because I got a scenario for you.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, ma'am. So imagine sip and paint, but it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay?
How is it the other way around?
Well, the sip and paint we are talking about, the men were the models.
Yeah.
Naked.
So it's a female
with their schlongs, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So yeah. But let's not make it only men go. Let's make it mixed. Men and women are going. Mm-hmm. Like almost like a strip club, but it's a sip and paint, isn't it? You know what I mean? And your boy is right next to you, and he's doing a bit of licky.
licky.
Just a little bit of licky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Okay, so what's your reaction to that?
I'm just gonna be like raw, but I think that's kind of it. I don't know. If I know he's single,
right in front of you, I didn't tell you he's single. I didn't give you the deets. I just said it's your boy.
I mean,
does it matter?
I'm just assuming that this woman is single. Well, it does in a sense because you're assuming it's just like a no inhibitions, like not innocent. I mean, I'm trying to describe it as innocent, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll just be like, fam, what was that about? Like,
this is a stranger, you know.
Yeah, but if
you don't know them.
But the thing is, if she was like encouraging it, if you know what I mean, because I don't know what had happened before that clip, but if she was encouraging it and he was like, yeah, man, don't back down, I'll be like, rah, do your thing, bro. But okay.
In front of everyone like that. Would you be comfortable? Would you be able to hold your paintbrush steady after that?
I mean, I'll be
right next to you. Up. Bare sound effects, bare.
Sounded like Nunu from the Teletubbies. About yeah.
Right?
So I mean, I'm not gonna
right
you know
next
what?
to you.
For me,
are you still gonna be painting? Are you still gonna be painting the boobies?
I'm gonna be laughing my head off. That's my natural reaction to anything embarrassing. I'll scream. I'll scream like enough. You, but I'll scream of laughter. It'll be laughter. Like my head will flick back and I'll be howling. However, Once I'm done howling, I'm going to really quickly read the room. And it really depends how the room receives this. Because if it was like... Sorry, because if the room is like laughing their head off too and like it's bants but everybody's on board, I'm fine. But if everyone's like, ooh, he creepy, ooh, you know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, why did you do that?
What's the conversation like on the way home? Because like I'm imagining all of you, like you went together. Yeah. So let's say you're the designated driver. My man's in the passenger seat next to you on the way home. What's the conversation?
It depends on the room, innit? If the room was calm with it, then I'm calm with it too. And I'm gonna be like, bruv, that was mad though. Like, what I'll go on for you just diving in the tuntun. Stranger tuntun like that. But if everyone was like, ew, like that was creepy, then I'm like, bro, anything you want to like, I don't know. I don't really, the thing is, I don't want more details, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean,
you don't need more details.
No, as into the psychology.
You saw it all, like.
It's the psychology. I don't want more details into the psychology of why you would just be.
Live and direct. You saw everything, boy. I just think that straight after the act, irrespective of how the room reacts, I'd want us to leave immediately.
Yeah, I mean that would trickle down. That it would get there.
Immediately.
I didn't know that was the vibes though, man.
No. I mean, I've heard about others in the UK where it gets a bit touchy, but for it to actually...
That was a lot of touch.
That's taking it another level. And so whoever recorded it was like across the room as well. Like they really
zoomed in and everything.
And I said, wow, is this... It was almost like a porno.
It was a porno.
2 seconds I saw a lot.
You saw all you needed to see.
In that 2 seconds.
I don't know how that happened.
Wow, what did my eyes just see? No, because the whole point is like everyone gets like drunk. Well, not drunk, but they keep the drinks coming. And the guys walk around flaunting themselves, right?
Okay. I didn't notice.
So, and girls get excited at these type of events, to be honest.
Yeah.
When women go to like strip, like those like Magic Mike type things.
Yeah.
Girls get like, woo, like, good time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know, but there's a levels between good time and
this isn't just excitement. This isn't like schoolgirl giddy excitement. This was I really wanna.
This was obchonk.
This was obchonk.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Listeners, hopefully there's no kids listening to this. Hopefully we're all over 18. So
otherwise, don't learn.
I'm going to throw the dilemma out to you guys, right? Imagine you went to a sip and paint, not a strip club, a sip and paint. And your friend, you were sitting right next to your friend and you turned over and you saw them giving oral right next to you. What would your reaction be? Drop it in the comments. I want to know. Drop it in the comments, okay? For the YouTubers. Drop it in the comments.
And we pin the best comment.
As for me, I will scream because that's just my reaction to things. And then I'd be like, we have to leave immediately. And I will be giving my friend a stern talking to afterwards. Like, how dare you embarrass me like that? Like, you could have at least gone to the toilets. Like, do you know what I mean? First of all, I don't really approve of that sort of behavior. He's a stranger. Do you even know if he's clean?
There's a lot.
How many sip and paint events has he done? Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But you know what? If you want to put your oral hygiene health at risk, that's your business. But just don't embarrass me when we're outside. That would be what I would be saying on the ride home. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously with love and in a respectful way as much as I can. But essentially, that's essentially what I'd be saying. But yeah, drop in the comments, guys.
Damn.
Wow. I think it's time for the main topic.
There was a video come out from Thandiwe Newton where she was crying. You can't do these faces with me. I'm trying to be serious. Where she was crying and Our main topic is about colorism, and she was crying because she's a light-skinned black woman who has had a lot of success in the film industry, movie industry, and a lot of people put it down to her complexion versus some other darker ladies who have not seen the same level of success. Dami, would you like to elaborate on other things you heard her say? Because I don't know all the details.
Who asked her? Who asked? Nobody begged you. She said that she's sorry for taking our men. These times her exes are white men. And secondly, she said that in the UK she's considered as dark-skinned.
This was the part that I only found out moments ago, and it sent me.
She said she's this color.
She said she is dark-skinned.
Our dark-skinned sister.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of this woman's like acting. There's loads of films she's been in
so talented.
that I enjoy thoroughly.
Yeah, she's so talented. But my question is, who asked you, sis?
I did.
Like, she was crying.
She was bawling. She was crying.
She said that her mum is a dark-skinned woman.
Yeah.
And that got her emotional.
Yeah, because she said that women who look like her mum are upset with her because they feel like she's taking their roles or taking their men and da-da-da-da. And so she's seeing it like she's doing her mum an injustice, if you know what I mean.
She said that in America that's happening, but in the UK she's considered as dark.
Yeah.
So essentially what she's trying to say is in the UK, she in the industry in the UK, she's considered as dark-skinned.
Right.
And that has impacted, you know, her in terms of getting roles and stuff like that.
So in America she's light-skinned.
She's considered as light and therefore taking the darker skinned women's roles and etc. Obviously the reaction on Twitter was, sis, your exes have been white men, so you're not taking our men, aka black men. And also a lot of the reaction from people in the UK was nobody's calling you dark skinned, sis, in the UK. But do you know what? I think it's the wording that she chose that didn't. It's the wording. Because I get where she's coming from.
Was she referring to the industry?
I think she's talking about. I think she was referring to the industry, and yes, in the industry, there's a longer way to go for black actresses and black actors actually in the UK. Hence why most of our many really talented actors that are black, they don't make it here, but when they go to America, that's when you start seeing them.
They clean up.
Big roles.
They clean up.
So I get what she was trying to say. It was the delivery.
Yeah, because
and the choice of wording. And colorism is such a touchy subject.
It is, man.
It's extremely touchy. And I'm gonna say this now, that if you are exhausted or tired of hearing, you know, or consuming any content around black issues, and so something like this topic, colorism, might be triggering for you, I would suggest that maybe this isn't the episode for you to watch. Because I get it. Like, as a dark-skinned black woman, I've spoke about this, I've touched on it in previous episodes where I've said that I've experienced prejudice. Right? There is an ambulance in the background. I can hear it clearly. So if you guys can hear it, I'm sorry. But yeah, I've experienced prejudice, and it's not just like prejudice from other races. There's prejudice within our own race. Yeah. So like, I've had lighter skinned friends that are girls that have almost treated me like I'm the ugly duckling in the group because they're lighter than me. So to them, they're like, you know, because they were the more more desirable ones. So to them, I don't want to go.
I'm not. The politics is hate. The politics is politicking.
It's very, woo, it's a hot one.
She said,
but you know, like, lighter is considered as prettier and more desirable. So dark-skinned women have felt second fiddle, not as, you know, up to par. We are up to par, but we're not treated as such, you know, as we were growing up. And so a lot of dark-skinned women would have been offended by what she said, because it's like, how very dare you? You have not experienced even a fraction of what we have experienced as a dark-skinned woman. So that's why I'm saying the delivery, I get what she was trying to say, but the way that she delivered it completely took away from the message she was trying to
Which make. Again can happen because she was emotional.
And the thing is, I believe her.
Yeah.
I believe her that in the UK, they probably did, in the industry, probably did treated her like you're not a white girl.
Or like she's not light enough. She's not a light enough shade of black to be...
She's not ambiguous enough.
Yeah. Or, well, it might not even be ambiguous. It might just be that there's a lot more shades of light black that are coming before you, if you know what I mean. No, but
she is pretty fair. But what I'm trying to say is, in the industry, in the acting industry in the UK, they being brown doesn't work in your favour, irrespective of the shade. So I get what she was trying to say. It's just that because of the way that she worded it, that considers dark, it's like straight away
everyone's like, oh my god,
dark-skinned black women or people that are not mixed will be like, sis, you haven't experienced what we've experienced, so keep quiet. And even in her saying that, she still would have had a leg up over women that are not mixed.
Yeah.
Or women that are really dark in the UK. So even though I understand what she's trying to say, sis, you're still mixed. You're still fair in comparison to, I know a few like actresses that are, you know, my complexion or around my complexion or darker, or even just not mixed, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
And it's a struggle for them, and that's why you see a lot of them going to, you know, LA or moving to America to try and get. Do you
know what I'm thinking though, or rather, what I'm deep in? Colorism used to be an issue for black men too, but I don't really feel like it is anymore in the industry. Like, let's just say, take films for example.
We're going to talk about the industry only.
Yeah, let's just.
I mean, we've got some pioneers. We've got people like Idris Elba.
Yeah. We got Idris Elba, but I mean, like, even if you think back,
name the female equivalent
of Idris.
Yeah, that came from the UK.
Oh, that came from the UK.
That's black. Not mixed.
You know what? Black. I don't know her name, but it's not the equivalent. She's successful, but she's gone to America as well. So it's like, it's not the same.
Did she become successful from here or from... So
I know her from doing a film over here, and Lord, I cannot remember the name of the film, but then I must have seen her in like CSI or that kind of, it was one of those kind of shows. But
she's still not the fact.
No, but she's not Idris level. She's not Idris level.
Yeah. It just has really.
But I literally can't think of any. Like, back in the day, it definitely was preferable for you to be light skinned if you was a black man. Like, it would just give you a leg up in whatever. For example, even if you looked at like R&B, like Genuine was killing it. Bobby Valentino killing it. And like,
you think Bobby Valentino is light skinned?
He's not dark skinned.
He's browning, man.
Yeah, but he's not dark skinned.
He's like an Usher. Do you think Usher's light skinned?
No, Usher's not light skinned, but I feel like Bobby Valentino is a little bit more. Even so, I don't feel like, as we move through the ages, that the complexion of a black man has really had any significant impact, if you know what I mean.
The reason for it is because they're men, and it's a patriarchy plays a big part in it. At the end of the day, like, let's put it this way: in the industry, for women, your age and your beauty matters.
Yeah.
For men, you can be flipping. I mean, look at some of our actors that are in like they're like 70, 80 years old and they're still bagging like big movies. But for the women, it's harder. So you can't compare the two.
Oh no,
Compare the
I'm
two.
just saying, like I've only
I
sort
think
of just
in
realised there is a distinct difference between like the black culture and maybe some other cultures or most other cultures, because black culture is very inclusive. When you strip away the issues, the social dilemmas, for example, anybody who's black is black. If you're mixed race, you're black. If you're from the Caribbean, if you're from the Caribbean and mixed with Indian, you're still black. If you're indigenous black, everybody is black to black people. But everybody with bits of other cultures in them is not that to those other cultures, if you see what I mean. So it's strange that there's such a divide after the fact.
Well, this is why we know when people talk about divesting and deciding not to date black men because they want to move away from the black culture and
it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense because when you have children,
they're black.
If you are specifically, purposefully choosing not to date black men because you think that your legacy will not be black, it's not true. Because to everyone else, to you, they might be mixed. Oh, they're all sorts of terms that people call it, like Blasian or they're, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still black because to that community, they're mixed with black heritage, so therefore they're black.
Yeah, black people always regard anybody who's half black, quarter black, 1% black. You can be completely white and do an ancestry test and it come back 10% Nigerian. Black people will claim you, like that's how the black culture is.
We will claim you, and also the other race will also say that you are black. I know that when you are of mixed heritage, there is like a bit of a, not an identity crisis, but it's quite difficult fitting in because it's like, where do I stand?
Fitting in where?
So, Thandiwe's, I didn't watch her full thing, but what I got from what she's trying to say is to the UK or to white people in the UK, she's considered as dark. She's considered as black. And then in the black community, she's seen as too light. And she's not considered as black because they're saying you're taking our men, you're taking our jobs. But it's like, what do you mean by our? Am I not part of the our?
Yeah.
So I know that for people of mixed heritage, there's almost like I am part this and I'm part that. Which side do I stand on? But it's fundamentally you stand on both sides. But that divide or the fact that you stand on both sides causes some sort of...
I don't think she stands on both sides.
I'm not saying her in particular.
Or mixed people. I think, mixed people in general. Yeah, I don't think they stand on both sides. I think they stand on black and then they stand on privilege. But I don't think any mixed person stands on white side, if you understand.
I disagree. Do you know why I disagree to an extent?
No, explain.
Yeah, because like, it's the whole... I don't want to call it an identity crisis because I don't want to name it like that. But there's almost like a divide within you because it's like, okay, I don't fully fit into like
this box.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, I get you.
Me, I'm 100% Nigerian.
I get you.
So to me, I fit into that.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't need to like change myself or show part of this and show part of that. I'm Nigerian. So when I'm with the family, I'm Nigerian. Period. Whereas like people of mixed heritage, it's more, okay, I have to be mindful that I'm not 100% this or that. So I can display parts of this or with this part of the family and display parts of this with that side of the family. Especially if the cultures are completely different.
Yeah.
So imagine now you've got your white family and you've got a black side of the family.
Yeah.
And there's probably people in the white side
that don't like people in the black side,
who don't like the black side because they're racist or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's probably people in the black side that feel like not all the family, but there might be one or two like here, there maybe I don't know, Auntie Sandra or something. That's a bit like they're racist. Remembering the bad times, remembering the past. So imagine being the person of mixed heritage where you've got to kind of like keep everybody happy, kind of. Like, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I can't turn my back on my white side and I can't turn my back on my black side. But they're both at war.
And I hear you. I mean,
see what I'm saying?
It happens. But
I have mixed friends, and they talk about it all the time. Like, when there's topics like about race, they struggle to figure out where they stand because they literally are part white, part black.
Yeah. Again, it just depends. It just depends what cultures constitute your black as well, and also what parent constitutes your black, because some black cultures are not very not overbearing. All right, but for example, I find Nigerian culture to be very tangible.
It's very dominant.
There's customs, there's ways of doing stuff, there's food, there's attire, there is something very much there. So if you're, for example, if you're a mixed race person and one partner is, let's just say, English and the other partner is Nigerian, I would say the English culture doesn't have like a strong, oh my gosh, like there's this, you eat these foods, you wear these clothes. So a Nigerian culture is really gonna have the opportunity swallow somebody, and then that person may identify more as black, or culturally they may, because there's going to be more of a cultural presence on one side. It's like it's not balanced. So for that reason, it really does depend. Well, what is the black? Because if someone was I don't know, let's say Jamaican, I don't believe that Jamaica has an attire like, oh yeah, if you're Jamaican you wear this, and they don't have like certain obvious customs that like Nigerians have, like bowing to your elders, and you know what I'm saying, there's so many really overt things that culturally exist in Nigerians that will make them, I don't know, that would just make it a lot more pronounced if you're mixed and you have the experience of both of your parents' cultures.
I think if you are of mixed heritage and you are watching this or listening to this, if you feel comfortable enough to share your experience and your perspective on this around how you balance the two separate cultures
that exist,
and whether you did ever experience feeling like, have you ever felt like you needed to choose? Have you felt like you've mastered the balance between the two? Because I can't speak on it, and because I'm not mixed. Yeah, and I guess
I can speak on it to an extent.
You can speak on it to an extent, but
my extent is Caribbean, Nigerian, and the Caribbean culture. In fact, Trini is quite cultured, so there is a lot of culture there, but there isn't an attire. But then like soca and calypso and carnival has its own look and feel. There is a sound with steel pans, and then food-wise, it's a very different island. But
I'm guessing, I mean, the context of this is about colorism, so I'm more talking about the divide between black and white, or black and Asian, because there's racism there too.
When you say Asian, you mean South Asian, like as in brown Asian, people, or Far East?
No, Asia.
Okay.
Full stop. Yeah, because there's racism there. If we're going to talk about like Indians using black people as slaves back in the day, that was a thing. Or you want to talk about the Japanese or the Chinese also having racial ideologies about black people, whether that is north, south, whatever. Asia as a whole, there's some ideas there, racist ideas there towards black people. There has been in the past and stuff like that. So let's just say Asia as a whole. Let's not make it too complicated. But let's say if you're of mixed heritage, where you've got black and something else that's not black, and you've got a mixed family, we would love to hear your experience around how you balance the two sides. Are both sides blended in that everybody is cool? There's no like awkwardness, everything's great, and so you don't feel like you need to balance? Or is it a matter of I need to understand my identity and how do I fit in when I'm not quite 100% one or the other. So it would be interesting to hear your comments around that. But in terms of like, just so that we don't go down the only mixed heritage route, because there's also light-skinned Black people in terms of like, there's no mix.
Yeah. They're just light-skinned Black. Mm-hmm.
And colorism isn't just something that affects Black people. It does affect Asians as well. So I mentioned India, but you know, in places like India, if you are lighter, you are considered as more beautiful. You are considered as higher in terms of the way that they I don't want to get this wrong, but they have like caste system. Yeah, so it's not just a Black issue. It's something that
colorism is a global issue. It's the same thing in the whole around the whole world. It's the darkest people of any continent that will always be
continent that's always considered the outcast or not good enough or lesser than the rest. And I think because it's something that's so widespread, I think, and it's something people don't really talk about anymore, but it's still there. So when comments like what Thandiwe made come up, that's when you really get to see,
right,
this is still a problem.
It's like a resurgence of the conversation.
Yeah, because we're all, you know, everyone's tired of these type of conversations, to be honest. Like, it's really...
Do you know why? I think people are only tired because it's like you can talk about these things 1,000 times over, but where is the move to a solution, or how do you even...
This is the thing. And I'm very about, we can talk about it, but what are we going to do about it? Like, we can be here complaining all day, every day that these are the issues that we have, but what do we do to move forward? And I genuinely believe that the only way that we're going to move forward is it starts from our generation. So like, because I remember growing up, my sister's lighter than me in complexion, and growing up, I genuinely felt like she was prettier than me because she's lighter. And it would have been nice if someone just said to me, no, you're both beautiful in your own way, irrespective of the complexion of your skin. I think that's part of the reason why, for me personally, when I spoke last week about making sure that not making sure, but I would prefer to have a Black family, is if I have a daughter, by God's grace, or a son, and they're dark, I want to do to them what I didn't have. I want to be able to say to them, you are beautiful. You are not less than your counterparts just because the color of your skin is darker. And I'm very particular about that. That's why I was like, I would prefer not to mix when it comes to marriage and having children, because I just don't want to inadvertently or purposefully feed into the notion that I need to mix myself or mix for my children to get better, feel like they are part of this world and not have to deal with XYZ. We are the older generation, and when we have children, we have a direct impact on how the younger generation feel, and so we should take responsibility. And by now, anyone that watches us regularly will know that I'm very big on accountability and responsibility. Like, it's a big deal for me in all areas of your life. So we are the only ones that can evoke change.
But then what in that sense, what really is change? Because when I was studying in secondary school, this definitely came up within, I don't think the context was colorism, but it was definitely about race. It was a conversation about race and white people being different to Black people and all the other races, and basically it was trying to say, like, how do you stop racism eventually? And the only viable solution was for everybody to mix, not everybody to protect their race. And then it was called A Coffee-Colored Nation. I really don't understand why I remember so much about it, but I cannot tell you what book this is from, and I definitely did this in school. But anyway, they were talking about how if everybody in the world mixed, we would end up with a coffee-colored nation. And by that description, white people wouldn't exist anymore because everybody would be, coffee-colored, because they're the only race that's that fair.
But
would that not solve the problem? Like,
racism is too big.
No, but that's not racism. But I mean colorism, because if everybody mixed, essentially, would that not lead to a better end result? No, not necessarily,
because you're mixed heritage and you're Black.
No, yeah, but I'm mixed Black and Black. But I mean everybody.
What I'm trying to say is you can't really compare colorism to racism. You can't compare
No,
it.
No, I'm not comparing colorism and racism. I'm saying that if
comparing it, but it's not going to be the same solution to eradicate colorism. Colorism is between us inside the community. So, and we have control over it because it's within our community. Whereas racism is from outside of the community.
Yeah, I agree.
And therefore we have no control over that. So
of
the
course,
only way that racism will go,
is if there's no race.
If there's change in terms of the other races that are racist towards us, that's the only way we're going to get change. But in terms of colorism, we have control over that because that's within us. Yes, it was started by the white man, but it's within our community. And by now we should have, to be fair, let's be frank, by now we should have just nipped it in the bud.
See, I disagree, because if you look at the psychology of different races, even though their colorism is different, it's still problematic and doesn't. It's like it's like something, once you put it in, it can't come back out. It's like dilute juice. It's like you got water and you put Ribena in it. You're gonna have a tough time getting the Ribena back out. And I feel like that's what colorism is, because if you look, even in the white community, it's exactly the same thing. When they didn't have other races to segregate themselves against, they did it with themselves. Yeah.
Other communities stick by each other, irrespective. It's the black community that likes to look for segregation. If it's not, light skin versus dark skin, black woman versus black man. What are the other ones that I can think of? Things like African versus Caribbean, tribe versus tribe.
But
come on, now.
Saying,
like, we kind of need to eradicate that, but we need to challenge ourselves.
But at the same
people
time,
and think we need to challenge ourselves as people. I think
at the same time,
like, in my day to day, what am I doing? Yeah,
but those communities that we are often compared to are far smaller. Like the land mass, the amount of people, the amount of different countries, cultures that we call black people. If you just simply change their colors, you'd realize how many you're trying to put under the small umbrella black people, and then compare it to, for example, South Asian. And they'll be like, no, I'm this, I'm that. Like, they'll give you the clear divide. No, this is what I am. And it
just sounds like excuses to me.
No, it's just the reality of it. You can't.
It's the reality.
You're asking one of the biggest continent on this planet to band together under one ideology when it's the biggest, and smaller ones don't even do that.
I know, but I know I've romanticized it in my mind, but we're talking about how can we have solutions, and I'm saying that every single black person really needs to challenge themselves. We're all affected by the same issues. We're all affected by racism. Yes, we are the biggest population in terms of race. Yes, but racism has been here for hundreds of years, right? It's been here for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a long way for us to go. We as a community, we need to do better. The only way that we're going to be able to do better is if people really question their own lives and look at their own sphere of influence and think, okay, how can I as an individual do things differently so that the next generation have a lesser experience of what I've experienced? That's all it takes. Because there's so many people, it'd be difficult to get everyone to band together and actually do it. But people need to wise up, and that's what needs to happen. That's the only way. I don't think mixing is really gonna, because then what you're saying is that we need to have world dominance, because we need to just make sure we just need to mix everyone.
And that was the solution presented in this.
I don't like that
book.
Solution.
Yeah,
I don't like that solution. There's nothing wrong with mixing, but each culture has this. I would hate to see cultures getting lost because we're all trying to mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we mix, cool, but losing cultures as a way to get rid of something as big as racism. That's why I said, when you mentioned it, I was like, racism is so big. I don't think we can get rid of racism, but I think when it comes to things like colorism,
mm-hmm.
which is a product of racism that is within our community, it can be changed eventually, way before racism itself. Racism is too big of a task and it's way out of our control. Colorism is in our control.
But then with the diaspora, if if you keep having black people operating in these non-black countries, dominant non-black countries, i.e. Britain, Germany, Russia, America, wherever it may be, then you're always going to be able to be exploited in that way, because you cannot control how that culture perceives your blackness. And that's where colorism really comes from. It's not so much that we just fantasize these different ways of viewing ourselves. It's other people viewing our differences and exploiting that to us, that then creates the indoctrination.
We allow them to exploit us because we ourselves are not challenging our own thought process and how we see it ourselves. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We really shouldn't be fighting each other. But it's like they throw a little something.
You got to throw the spice in there.
They throw the spice in there, and we, like stupid people, are there entertaining them. They're laughing at us. They're laughing at us, and we're allowing it, rather than looking at it as. And I have to challenge myself to do this as well. But rather than looking at it as, oh, Thandi's lighter than me and she's getting the opportunities and I'm not getting the opportunity. I'm not seeing black people on TV like her. That's not fair. It's because she's light. How about I just be like, oh, there's another black woman that's on TV.
Yeah, that one's definitely.
I know it's gonna take a long time, and it's easier said than done. And remember, like I said, I am a dark-skinned woman who's experienced prejudice. Like anyone that is watching this and is probably thinking, she's chatting so much crap. She's capping, like it's wild. I have not forgotten the fact that I wear weaves probably, and I'd probably prefer myself in weaves to braids. It's something I'm working on, but it's true because of the fact that I've been taught that my curly hair is not as desirable as someone who's got more malleable hair.
Yeah, now you gotta get into the braids and the cane rows, man. It is what it is.
I don't like my forehead.
It don't matter about your forehead. It's not.
Let me say something. Yeah, I like braids.
Yeah.
But the moment it gets messy, if it's not sleek,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you from now. Yeah, this has been my criteria from like day dot. It's always been about my natural hair. It don't matter what the length, how messy, it don't matter. Dreads, it don't matter. That's all I'm looking at.
No, don't get me wrong, I love my natural hair.
I hear you, but you need to celebrate it. Like you have to, because let me even wait, because if you want to dispel colorism, yeah, it's far less over and far more subvert. And by that, because I don't even know what those words mean right now, what I mean is the young people looking at you, the young people looking at Thandi in the cinema or on the billboards or whatever, the people who don't even care about that, those are the people who are the most impressionable. So when they see your afro or your cane rows or your braids or your dreads or your whatever, that's just empowering them to be like, that's what I should look like. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's when they don't get to see it is what then this starts to form their opinion of, well, this is what the world accepts.
They are seeing it more. Because, I mean, we've got our good sis, Viola Davis here, who's there, black and proud, okay? When we look at films like Black Panther, we saw so many beautiful dark-skinned women in that film.
I loved it.
We can't control how we're represented in the industry because the industry, there's racial connotations in there, right? What I'm trying to say is people should focus on the influence that they can have in smaller doses, okay? We're not going to change the world. Not everyone's Martin Luther King. Not everyone's Nelson Mandela, all right? But in your own home, amongst your friends, in the workplace, in your sphere of influence, you can make small change. And it's those small changes that over time become the big change.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the message I'm trying to
drive home.
That's the message I'm driving. And in order to do that, we have to take accountability and responsibility. And once you see that they told us that light-skinned people are better than dark-skinned people, but in reality, to them, we're all the same. We are all the same. And once you see it that way, irrespective of whether you see Viola Davis in the role or you see Thandi in the role, you'll be like, that's a black woman. Right? And therefore, once we start moving towards that way of thinking, eventually the generations to come will not see it as, oh my days, she's lighter than da da da. They'll just see it as, that's a black woman on TV, irrespective of her shade. The reason why it sounds like a crazy concept right now is because there's still a lot of us who didn't live in a world or didn't grow up in a world where light skin versus dark skin wasn't an issue. So a lot of light skinned women might feel like they were never really accepted by dark skinned women because they were lighter. And there'll be dark skinned women that feel like we were treated because we were uglier or less than because we're dark. There's still a lot of us that experience that. It's still very real. But in order for our children and our children's children to not experience that, we need to be teaching them that irrespective of your shade, you are a black woman. That's the message I'm trying to make. Yeah. The challenges we have around that, though, is because people are still triggered. And I'm not going to judge people for that, because you've caught me on a calm day today, so I'm not triggered. But if you had caught me on another day where, I don't know, someone might have crossed me somehow, I might be saying something completely different. Okay. At the start of this episode, I was rolling my eyes at Thandiwe. Okay. And now I'm saying technically she's not technically. No, she is a black woman.
Yeah, she is.
She's not white. She's black. So I have to check myself here and practice what I preach. It's not easy. We're human, but we need to challenge ourselves. We need to challenge our thought process and how we see things. Heal from the traumas we've had in the past. And once you realize, when you deep it and you realize it's a tool to segregate us, the black community will never ever have, will never ever get to a place where we have the infrastructure to generate wealth within our community, to generate stability within our community, if we keep allowing things from the past to stop us from elevating. We need to kind of like heal from it and rise above it, and that responsibility rests in us. We need to stop expecting other races to come and save us. We need to do it for ourselves.
For sure. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's been something I've been thinking about for a long time, but it's just, in my thought process, I don't really see us getting somewhere tangible without leadership. Just because you need direction, like there's so much energy, and if you just focus it on one point, it's, you know what I mean, you'll get a result immediately, because there's so much talent, there's so much creativity, energy in our community.
Yeah, I mean, just to put a little bit of a positive spin, there is still a lot of, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of pain from past experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. But let's also not forget that we have moved forward in this area. Okay, like it's not, when I look at like some of the younger generation already, there's a lot more unity there. So I think for people like us, or maybe people that are a bit older than us, or maybe people that are a little bit younger than us, who probably have experienced quite a lot of maltreatment as a result of colorism, racism, let's not forget that the younger generations may not have experienced just as much as we have.
Yeah, it's different for them. It is different for them.
Yeah, and so it might be a difficult concept for us, but eventually colorism, I hope, will get better if we play our part. Because of segregation and the whole feeling of it's hard to get to the top. The token gets to the top. There's a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
It breeds corruption. Because there's a lot of corruption within our community, it's going to be difficult to get a leader.
Yes.
That's going to forward the... So that's why I'm saying, like, waiting for a leader, we're going to wait a long time. How about we just all take personal responsibility?
I think for now, take the personal responsibility, do your thing, make it a local effort, bottom up. But I think in 10 years, I might be fit for the role.
I don't know, I mean, you're a villain.
I'm a villain, but I think that's what we need.
Dusty.
I think that's what we need. Do you know what it is?
I think
when you think about all the people who have who have put their time and effort into driving progress in the black community. They have all started off as heroes at least.
I see what you're trying to do here.
But in reality, I don't think that perfect person that we're waiting for is what we need. Because no one's perfect. And it's better that it's the better the devil you know.
I see the drive that you're trying to
I'm a mortal man.
Here.
I'm a mortal man.
I see the drive you're trying to push here, but let's just focus on our podcast. And,
I'm focused, and
let's just focus on that. I don't want this to be a forum for you to be driving your political agenda.
2032.
If I'm going to be, I'm not having that. We're not using this platform to drive your political agenda.
I mean, aside from Vote Venom 2032, apart from that. Apart from that, in a big fantasy world, I would want all black people from the diaspora to come offline and form a actual community offline, outside of the vision of everybody else, outside of the entertainment of everybody else. Just connect with each other and learn about each other, because it's a lot of us. And we're all under this one umbrella. And I feel like even though we're under this umbrella, everything we're doing is in plain sight. And it just allows people to infiltrate at different points every which way. Every time you try to build something, somebody can already see and is just knocking down your foundation. So, yeah.
Okay. I see you.
See? 2032, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I've been plugging it since the beginning. But we move.
Okay. So basically what we're saying is, guys, that we should love each other the same way that we want to be loved. Yeah. Respect each other and give each other kindness the same way that you want to be given respect and kindness. That's our message all the time, every episode. So yeah, just remember that. Okay. So I think that brings things to a close. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Check out our previous videos as well. If you're subscribed already, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
We would love to hear your comments or hear your perspective on this topic, particularly how you think we could probably eradicate or move away from colorism within the community. We are a podcast that talks about these matters, but we always like to drive solutions. So it'd be nice for us to discuss more of the solutions than the problems. So yeah, hit us up in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please give us a 4 to 5 rating. If you don't want to give us a 4 to 5 rating, then you really need to be hollering at me and Venom to let us know why. We're always thinking about ways to improve the podcast, so that matters to us. No trolling, because like I said before, we'll block and delete you. On YouTube, give us a like. It goes a long way. And yeah, till next week. Wait, before I even close off.
What?
Did I forget something? Oh yeah, our socials will be in the description box, whether that is for YouTube or even for those listening on the podcast platforms. And yeah, that is it actually.
That is it.
That's actually it.
Yeah.
So yeah, until next week, guys.
Not trying to support the political campaign now.